Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Thursday. We got a couple of things to really go over. Obviously, markets were up today, Bitcoin was up today, Ethereum was up today, miners were a little bit mixed today, but we also have to talk about Marathon as far as what their production has been so far this month. Is it going to live up to what they had in May of 1,245, I think was Bitcoins that they mined? Can they get to that point? We'll take a look at all the raw data that we do have on them, kind of come up with some estimates and things like that where they could actually end up with tomorrow being the last day in June. Okay. But as always, you guys know this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. And I'm investing in the following coins and companies for full disclosure. So let's take a look at obviously the markets. But as always, if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out. And let's get into the markets. So as we saw today, the S&P was up 0.45%. Boy, I can't speak. 0.45%. Dow Jones was up 0.8%. Nasdaq was up 0.54%. Bitcoin was up. Well, Bitcoin right now is up in the after hours or the new day, but it was up today 1.24%. So it had a little bit of a bounce today. It went up much higher on the daily here, then it bounced back down. So we did recover some of the loss that we had from yesterday, but then we fell down below it. It is still looking pretty good on the daily chart as far as what the RSI looks like. The RSI is lower, price is a little bit higher than we were back here. So that's good there. If we look at the 4-hour chart really quick as well, we can see that the RSI has definitely dipped down here. I'm looking for any kind of signs of kind of the same spot. We're kind of going sideways right now, at least in the last, what is that, 16 hours or so. We're kind of flat on the price, flat on the RSI as well. If we go back far enough on it, we can see that back here, price was actually lower at the same RSI level. So that's good there. So we're still kind of in a no direction for it right now. 1-hour chart, we can see here that the bottoms here, we're back here, and price is about the same, maybe a little bit lower. If we look at the peaks, see if we can find some peaks here that we can kind of look into. I don't see anything. We have a peak here, we have a peak probably here a little bit where it meets up. Price is higher at that point. So it's still looking pretty good there on the 1-hour chart. We might continue to go up. For how long, I don't know. Okay, so that's Bitcoin in a nutshell. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quick as well. Ethereum was up today as well. It was up 1.35%. It's doing pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin is right now. So we'll see where they end up over the weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. Fridays are usually pretty interesting days when it comes to trading. So we'll see what happens tomorrow on that one and on Bitcoin as well. But that's it for those. Right now, Ethereum is actually down a little bit here, but it was up 1.35% and closed at 1,952. Now, any was down today 5.52%, and this is after they did the reverse split. You got one share for every 7 shares that you held. So that happened today. Argo was up nicely today, 10.76%. Bounced back from yesterday. Did really good today. BitDigital was down 2.46%. BitDeer was up another 13.47%. Surprisingly so, that one's at $11.88. Bitfarms was down today 2.08%. Cypher was flat on the day. CleanSpark was up 0.71%. It did better earlier on. Did the same thing yesterday too. Went up and then it came down, went up, came down. Don't know what's going on there. Core Scientific, another huge day for them, 12.43% up on the day. They were up much higher. They were at 92 cents. So I'm sure a lot of you guys were happy about that. Some of you guys might be even close to being profitable or getting close to there or already profitable, which is great to see. DigiHost was up 8.14% as well today, so that had a good day. DMG was down 0.03%. Greenidge was down 3.52%. Hive was up 3.81%. It's continuing its little rally that it's having here, along with Hot 8 being up 5.23%. Iris Energy was up 8.68%. Marathon was up 5.02%. Mawson was down 9.13%. Mawson continues to go in the opposite direction here. It's going to the downside. Riot was up 1.04%. Soluna was up 12.43%. Let's see here. Stronghold was flat on the day at 0, and Wolf was also flat on the day. Looks like it's 0 as well. So that's the miners. A little bit mixed here on the day. Surprisingly, even with Bitcoin going up in value, the miners, some miners were actually down today, or at least didn't do as well as Bitcoin did. So that's kind of surprising there a little bit. So let's take a look at what's going on with the network hash rate really quick here. We can see here that on the 7-day, network hash rate has come down to 354 million terahashes. And on the 1-day, it is right now coming back up here to 367. So we did bottom out at 280 just yesterday. So there's probably a lot of curtailing going on with all the heat nowadays in the summertime. So that's possibly why. Miners are just curtailing to save on electricity and put electricity back into the grids. Okay, so The story that we're going to take a look at is Marathon. See how they're doing actually right now. This month in June so far, they're doing actually pretty good as far as stock performance is concerned. They are at 2.349 billion right now in market cap. So they surpassed Riot. Riot was the leader there for a while, at least this last couple of months here. But now we've had that switched on us. Marathon's the leader here, followed by Riot. Then we got BitDeer at 1.3 billion, followed by Annie. Annie is a mistake there. They're not valued at 1.8 billion, 1.08 billion. You probably have to divide that by 7. I think that's what is going off by old data here. With them going up to $2 a share, they were at 30 cents, I think, something like that. So that's a mistake there. And then you got Cypher at 721, Hut 8 at 712, followed by CleanSpark at 480, and then you got Hive at 388, Wolf at 366 billion. Sorry, not billion, million. Okay, so that's why I kind of want to take a look at that. How has their stock performance compared to their actual Bitcoin mining performance for the month of June compared? So I pulled in all this data here from their address that we believe to be Marathon. It's usually pretty accurate. So I pulled in all the transactions that they're getting the rewards for. You can see those are in here, the rewards, and then I'm just converting it over to actual numbers that I can use here to calculate. So this was the last reward that I saw, at least the one that I put into my data was on today at 3:22. And this is, I think, UTC time, possibly. That was the last one that's being added in here. So total for the month of June so far is 900.27 Bitcoins that they got rewards for. On average, they're about $31 or $31 Bitcoins a day, which is really good still. And they're estimated for June. I'm adding just the 31 to the 900 here to get the 931.31 Bitcoins for the month of June. Now, when we compare that to May, we had a couple of things happen in May. We had obviously the network hash rate fees go really high for a couple of days there. That helped out tremendously to a lot of the miners. And they also installed a lot of machines, which helped them out as well compared to April numbers. But they also looked like they were running for pretty close to the full month of May. May also had 31 days in it compared to June, which only has 30 days. So that's also something to take into account. But during the month of May, they averaged 40.16 Bitcoins per day. And that's obviously a huge decrease here from the 31, right? Part of that is the network hash rate fees that were attributable to this as well. The difference here is 313 Bitcoins. That's quite a bit. It's about $8.5 million in value that's hasn't been mined for it. And they're down about 75%, or 75. They're down 25%. They're only 74% of what they mined in May. That's right now, based on my estimates. Okay. Estimated for June, we're looking at about 25.6 million based on Bitcoin average price for a month of June being at 27,524, something like that. That's the average, so that's kind of what I'm calculating that on. In May, they came in at 34.2 million. Definitely a lot better here. I'm still using the same exahash as far as what they had. So I'm using the 15.2 exahash that they had at the end of May. June, we don't know about June yet. They haven't reported. Obviously, they'll report probably Monday or Tuesday next week when we go into July. I'm guessing that they probably installed some more. We don't know. We'll see if that is actually the case. If that is the case, then the numbers are actually worse than I thought. I was expecting them to do really well this month, given that we don't have the network fees to add in there. But at least they should have been mining for the full month. And it turns out that they weren't. Okay, so as far as Bitcoin efficiency is concerned, they were at, this is 70. So from what what they actually mined here, what I'm estimating that they mined, 931, their Bitcoin efficiency per exahash is at 61.27. If they actually mined the 1,141 Bitcoins that if they were running for the full 30 days in June, their efficiency would have been at 75, which would have been pretty good given where the network hash rate is, everything else. That would have been actually really good. But they're at 61 right now. And this is, like I said, this is the 1,141 is based on if they were mining for the full 30 days at 15.2 exahash that was reported at the end of May, okay? That is a difference here of 209 Bitcoin only from June compared to May, or no, sorry. For June, what they actually mined, what they actually should have been mining with the 15.2 exahash. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. So it's 209. So it's only an 81% of that, their capacity. So they're mining 81% of their capacity. Basically, they're down 19% from their where they should be actually. Okay, their uptime is calculated by what they actually, well, just taking the 81% and multiplying it by the 30 days in June, and their uptime looks to be about 24.5 days, it looks like. Okay, now, I'm starting to see a little bit of a trend with them when it comes to large increases in network hash, or large increases in their hash rate. So if we look at the charts over here that I have for them as well, that we track every month, we go over this. We'll go over this again when they report for June. But you can see here that they had a pretty good spike here in Bitcoin production in October, right? If we go down to October here, you can see that they had a nice increase in hash rate. They got to 7 exahash here, and then they stayed at 7 exahash for 3 months. But you can see that their production has dipped down again, right? Kind of strange. You would think that if their production was the same, they'd be down maybe a little bit because of network hash rate increases, but they're way down here. So obviously, when they install a lot, they run as much as they can, and then the following months, they curtail. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing here, like a trend developing a little bit here. We saw the same thing a little bit more so in March, where they went up to 825 Bitcoins mined in March. They went up to 11.5 exahash. And then in April, there was just really strange where they curtailed a lot because they went from March to April. That was a decrease there, but they had an increase in hash rate to 14 exahash, but yet they mined less. So there was a lot of curtailment probably going on at that point. Either that, or they get the miners energized at a very, very late date in April as well. So now we're seeing that they mined in May 12.45. They increased quite nicely here to 15.2 exahash. And now we're seeing in June that's going to be down to about 930. So another decrease from where they should be, and not knowing if they actually installed any additional hash rate. And we're operating on it, okay? So obviously things to take a look at here. But yeah, I was just surprised. I thought they were going to be actually doing really good here this month. That's why I kind of wanted to take a look at it to see where things are going to be shaping up, especially with the price for them. As you can see here, let's go back one more. Over here, you can see their appreciation for the month here. Let's go to Marathon here really quick. You can see that they've been pretty flat here for the month of May for the most part. Up and down a little bit here, but then after we get into June, we're flat for the first half of June, and then you get this huge ramp up here that we've been seeing here. So they are up actually right now. If we look at the beginning of June, where is June? June is right there. So they were at here. They are up approximately 43%, 44% roughly from the top. But if we go to the bottom of it, from where they went over here, and from the bottom to the top, they are up, let's see here, 68, almost, yeah, 68.5% from the bottom here in June. So definitely huge gains there for them. That's why I was expecting them to do a little bit better with their Bitcoin production, thinking maybe that insiders are seeing something, people are buying. Others might have been seeing something else that I wasn't seeing or something, but it turns out that's not the case. The stock is just going up, I think, because they are installing a lot of hash rate. They've been executing really well here the last 6 months. But we do have these kind of lulls in production where they ramp up a lot of exahash. The following month is usually a down month for them where they curtail more. And I'm guessing it's based on the cost of electricity for them. But we'll see, okay? So let me know what you guys think of all of this data here on them. But we'll see how obviously June comes in for them. Right now, it doesn't look like it's going to come in all that great for them. They're going to be down, and we'll see how the stock reacts to it when they do release the information, okay? So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And then the spreadsheets will be available to my Patreon members as well. And I'll try to post maybe some of this stuff on Twitter as well, and maybe the community posts here, okay? So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great one. See you next time. Bye.